If you Google the words Florida man followed by, well, pretty much anything, very rarely are you met with good news. 9.5 times out of 10, you're more than likely met with something involving an alligator, or a snake, or someone's ex-wife setting their 250-pound pet tiger loose in the neighborhood. Normal Florida stuff. But not everything coming out of Florida is bad, and not all of it involves heavily intoxicated middle-aged men robbing a 7-Eleven butt-ass naked. Take, for example, Brad Zinker. He's what I would consider to be the good kind of Florida man. As far as I'm aware, he doesn't have a pet tiger, and he hasn't robbed any 7-Elevens in the nude lately. But what he has done for a good long while is design knives, and this is his most recent production piece, the We Knife Co. Miscreant 3.0. And if it looks familiar, well, that's because it's a shrunk-down, more pocket-friendly version of the old Miscreant, which was a monstrosity. This new Miscreant is pretty much identical in every way, aside from the dimensions. Aesthetically, this is a pretty low-drag, high-speed, tactical-looking piece, and thanks to those big, gnarly countersunk holes cut through the scales, it weighs next to nothing. And I've forgotten on multiple occasions that it has been in my pocket. I almost ran it through the laundry. Twice. It's not even my knife. I almost washed the fucking thing. Now this variant is rocking the black anodized scales with the nice and heavy stone washing on the blade, and that blade is of course coming in at 3 inches long, hence the name 3.0, and it is made out of good old CPM 20CV. Closed up outside of the speed holes, this piece is really no bigger than a 5-pack of double mint gum. If you're old, you will know what I'm talking about. And it's insanely thin, no wider than a 5-pack of double mint gum, like wafer thin. Which, paired with that nicely done deep carry pocket clip, makes this thing a breeze to live with day to day. The looks of the original always spoke to me for some reason, but I can never see myself carrying a 9-inch long knife that was this insanely over-the-top tactical in the looks department. But shrinking the piece down has made the tactical insanity, well, kind of a lot more bearable for me. It's a nice looking piece overall. Now then, the looks might lead you to believe that the Ergos leave a lot to be desired, but you would be wrong. In hand and in use, it's exceptionally comfortable, even though it is just a rectangle, like a 5-pack of double mint gum. Even though it is just a rectangle in profile, like 5-pack of double mint gum, everything has been knocked down, and there are no sharp edges or hot spots to report. The pocket clip is barely noticeable in hand, even the big holes never seem to get in the way. Now, we don't have much of a finger choil or any kind of choke-up area at all, but I haven't found myself needing any extra room up next to the blade. And overall, the only complaint I have as far as ergos go is I wish the jimping on the blade spine went a little further out. As it stands, I struggled to really see the point of having it there at all. Aside from that, it's a surprisingly nice piece as far as ergos go. And now then, ergos are meaningless if the knife doesn't cut things. But let me assure you, my friends, my brothers, my sisters, this thing cuts like a dream. The 20CV drop point style blade is rocking a flawlessly done full flat grind, and that final cutting edge is just foolishly thin. Now, I got this piece via the Apex Pass Around group. God bless you boys, thank you so much. So several other gents have been using and or abusing this blade before it came to me, and yet when it arrived, I would have thought it had never been touched or used at all. Terrifyingly sharp and slicey straight out of the box, and I have just been slicing up every little piece of paper I can get my hands on ever since it arrived. It's a full-blown performance-oriented slicing machine, overall A+. And finally, the action. Well, in my experience, and if you ask Kevin over Lefty EDC, in his experience, well, we can be hit or miss with their D10 strengths, especially on their flipper-only models, but on this piece, ooh baby, that D10 is dialed the fuck in. Super snappy action, almost impossible to fail. Actually, it kind of is impossible to fail, and it opens up with a nice satisfying ting. This is running on bearings, so keep that in mind before taking this one to the beach or the dunes, but the bearings are nice and smooth, no grit or grindiness to report, and on the close, the lock bar is easy to get a hold of, push it out of the way, and somehow, some way, that wafer-thin slicer swings shut with almost no help at all. And again, on the close, we are met with a delightful little ting from the detent clicking back into place. It's a great action. I've had a lot of fun with it. Reliable and satisfying start to finish. So where does all this leave me with the new WeKnifeCo Miscreant 3.0, designed by Brad Zinker, the good kind of Florida man? Well, I like it. I kind of knew I would. Like I said, I always wanted to pick up the big boy, but never could pull the trigger. On this one, however, there is one other important difference compared to its bigger, more gnarly, and older brother. It's the price. This thing will only cost you $169 retail, which, all in all, that's a great price for a Wii in general, let alone one with this much milling, this much machine work, 20 CV, super slicey, great action. The big Miscreant, it still, to this day, costs $234 retail. So as far as I'm concerned, this thing's the steal of the century. A great value and an excellent slicer, dynamite blade steel, snappy and satisfying action, and looks that could actually kill. I will most likely end up folding and picking one of these up for myself, and I'll probably end up running it through the washing machine a couple times. Still hung onto my pair of pants, but that's a small price to pay for something good finally coming out of the state of Florida. For once. So until next time, thank you for watching. Bye-bye now.